Born at the exact moment that time began to flow, Dialga is the powerful legendary Pokemon from the Sinnoh region that has the ability to send trainers and Pokemon backwards or forwards through time into the past or the future, depending on its preference. And it's also in the form of a legendary Nanoblock set for Deluxe Nanoblock collectors like myself. Hello and welcome to this latest YouTube Nanobuild here on my YouTube channel, where we're going to be building the Deluxe Dialga set here that I bought while I was in Japan, and I gotta say that I'm really looking forward to this. Now, if you're new to Nanoblock building and you want to brush up on learning the basics or getting a good idea on the system for yourself, or you just want to brush up on ideas on how to properly set up your builds, your unboxing builds, then I have other videos here on my channel that you can look into to help out with your Nanobuild experiences. And it's not just for beginners, but it's also for advanced builders, is to help out with their builds and collections for future reference. Now, when we're starting out with an unboxing build of a Nanoblock set, the first thing is to remember is that even though it is a high level build, it's actually pretty easy to get yourself lost when you're trying to sort out the pieces, especially when it comes to color and size. So the best thing to do is have a system that you can relate to. So the first thing that we need to do is actually open this box right here through the tapes. It even says in Japanese and then of course in English, open. So you don't need to worry about how you're going to open this box. You can actually just use the back here as a guide. So I'm expecting a box for all the pieces, and a tray that goes with it, including the instructions for this build. As such. And keep in mind that it is going to be a big build, so you might need at least 3 separate trays. I've got 2 of the old cardboard trays that I used for my nano builds here in the past, and I've also got this red tray here to help out with sorting out the pieces. Now, when sorting out pieces for a set like this, it can be intimidating, especially with the different shapes and sizes of certain pieces like slopes, and of course the colors that also go into the build. But with the methods and techniques that you will see in this video, it will be a lot more easier for you to try and follow and of course process on how to build your Nanoblock sets. So, first of all, you find out how many bags there are, and then you can come up with a plan on how to do the build. So for this build, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 bags. And now that you have an idea on how many bags that you have for this set, it's now time to get started with organizing. Now, the best thing to do in a situation like this is to not rush by opening all the bags open at once, as that will mix up all the pieces and you won't have a steady system of getting everything together. So the best thing to do is start out with 1 bag. Sometimes the bag with the bigger pieces to begin with is the easiest option to do. So we will open this bag. As such, and then we can start organizing all the bricks that we need. So just by looking at what we've got from this 1 bag, we've got some 2x3s, 1x6s, and I believe, yep, some well, in 2 different colors. So the best thing to do, of course, 2x4s with slopes. So the first thing to do is start out with one color brick, and then start finding out how many you'll need for each one for your set. So I'm going to get started with organizing in this bag, and then I'm going to work through the rest of the bag as we go along. So after nearly an hour of organizing all the bricks that we're going to need for our Dialga build, which is a pretty big instruction booklet, there's over 100 steps that we have to follow in order to make this a complete model. So let's go over the bricks that we need for this build. Let's start off with the obvious one, well, the rather difficult one here. We've got a clear blue 2x2 circular brick right here. Four 1x2s with the peg in the middle, and two black. Let's I sort those out. There we go. Two black 1x2s right there. Then for the light blue, the cyan blues, we have 12 1x1s right there. We have 10 1x3s. Here's the 2x3s. We've got 6 of those. We have some 4 1x2s with an inverted slope on one end of the brick there. Then we've got 2 cyan blue teeth. We have 18 1x2s. We have a 1x3 with 2 pegs in the middle right there. We also have 2 1x2 steps right here. And we've also got 3 1x3s with a deep slope, or a thin slope right here. We've got 8 1x4s. There's 2 1x2s with a ball peg on the side. 5 1x2s with connectors right there. 6 1x6s. 3 2x2s there. And 8 1x2s with no pegs on them whatsoever. So those are the cyan blues that we have. Next up for the dark blues, I'm going to be careful here. I've got 3 2x2s with 1 peg in the very middle here. 5 1x2s with a a gentle slope right here. And 4, or was it 5? I believe it is. Yep, it is. Oh, sorry. There's 6 of those. 4 1x2s with a deep slope on them. And we've also got 12 2x2s. Who's for part of Dialga. And those are some of the dark blue colors. We're actually going to show you what the others look like in just a moment. And this is why it's always important to keep a tray for the bricks that you have for your nano builds, because it helps out with the organizing of your models whenever you get them. And of course, this system really does help out with me, and it would also probably help you out as well when you do your nano builds. But if you're one of those people that like to chuck all the pieces into the box, just be careful because of the hole right there on the side of the box, right where my finger is, because some of the pieces will fall out, and it will probably mean that the pieces could fall either onto the floor or onto the carpet, and you could potentially lose or step on them. So do be careful when you're trying to use this method. But regardless, let's go over the other pieces that we need for this build. We have some 1x1s with pegs on the side here. We have got here it is, 8 of those. We have some 1x2s with a peg in the middle that are at least 21. Then we've got some 2x2s with ball bearings on the side. We have 6 of those. Sorry, 5. Don't know why we've... Yep. And of course, 5 connectors right there in 2x2s. We also have those in 1x2s and 1x4s. We have, for the connectors in the 1x2s, we have about 6 of those. And the one with the balls on the side, we have 9 of those, to help out with the movement and functionality of this nanoblock model. Next up, we have got some 1x3s. We have at least 43 of those, and this is really important when you're trying to sort out a build of this size, because if you have a lot of pieces, getting them into a system and organized based on not only the color but also the shape as well really does help out with your builds. And you don't have to rummage through all the bags at once just to get the piece that you're looking for. Then we've got 3 1x3s with slopes on them. And we also have 1x2s. We've got with no pegs on them. We've got about 8 of those. We also have 2 2x4s with no pegs on them right here. And we have 23 1x6s. Get ready to get your mind blown as well, guys. We also have 44 2x4s here, 16 2x8s there. We also have 29 1x1s there. And we have 64 2x3s as well. So there's going to be a lot of those. For the L's, we have right there, we have 32 of those. Then we've also got some 2x2s with slopes on them. We have at least 12 of those. We also have some 2x4s with slopes on one row here. We have about at least 26 of those. Then we've got, I think we said this, but we have 43 1x3s, and we have 51 1x4s right there. We've also got some T's. We've got 12 of those. And I'm pretty sure that there is others. Yep, we have 2 curved 1x2s right there. And we also have 17 1x2s with inverted slopes right there. And we also have 1x2 who steps right here. We have 17 of those. And that is it, I believe, for the dark blue pieces. Unless I'm missing something here. Nope, I believe that is that. So that's it for the dark blue. Now I'm going to show you all the gray pieces that we need, because that is also part of Dialga, as it is a steel type as well. So we have all the gray pieces as well right in front of the box. In front of the camera, sorry. We've also got 2 circular red 1x1s, which are probably going to be for Dialga's eyes, which will be shown in the head portion of the video, so keep an eye out for that. We have 3 gray 1x2 connectors and 1x2 balls right there. We also have 2 1x3 curved bricks right there. We also have 8 1x2s with inverted slopes right here. Then we've got 2 gray L's there. And for the 1x3s with 2 pegs on them, we have at least 24 of those. We've also got 5 gray 2x3s. 5 2x2 with slopes on them. 28 1x2s with a narrow slope on them. And 24 1x2s with a deep slope on them right there, which will probably be for Dialga's feet. We also have a mind-numbing 59 1x1s in grey right there. We also have 10, and right there at the bottom left corner, right there, 10 1x6s. We also have 2 grey 1x2s with rounded edges, and 2 circular 1x1s right there. For the 1x4s, we have 28 of those, 43 1x3s as well. We've also got 2 1x2s who steps right there. We also have 2 2x2 grey with connectors right there. We also have 29 2x2s, 4 1x2s with no pegs on them, 2 1x4s with rounded ends, 2 2x2s with a curved corner. It doesn't really matter which ones, but they are the same. We also have a 2x2 with 1 peg in the very middle. We have 8 1x1s with pegs on the side right here. We also have how many? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yep, 73, and I say it correctly. 73 1x2s with 1 peg in the very middle. And we also have a 27 1x2s right there. Of course, pop this back in its pile. So I believe that is all the bricks that we're going to be needing for this build, and this will be quite a long build, so I hope that you're looking forward to what we're about to do, especially when we start step 1 and move on to making Dialga's body. Step 1 of the build is over and done with, and we have begun working on Dialga's body right here in front of you on the camera. So to begin, you need at least, well, definitely two 2x8s right here, both one to the left, to the left and right of each other. It's kind of like a 4x8, if you will. Then here at the front are two dark blue 2x3s where they're in a vertical position, whereas the 2x8s are in a horizontal position, so that it starts to form the main base of Dialga's body. Then at the front, again in a vertical position to the 2x3s that we've done, is a 1x4 where it's where two pegs are between, well, right in front of the 2x3s that we've done here first and foremost, and then above those are two dark blue 2x4s in vertical positions where the front 2x4 is over the 1x4 that we've done here, and it connects to the 2x3s that we did, so the ones that look like a 2x6, and then again where this one connects to the 2x3s and the 2x8s right here at the back. So that is a good solid foundation start to this model, and now I'm going to get to work on step 2, where we're going to be working on more on Dialga's body. We're now done with step 2, so what we basically had to do first and foremost is start off by grabbing two dark blue 2x3s and place them on top of the 2x8s that we've done in step 1. Again, those are to be in horizontal position. Don't do it in a vertical position, otherwise it would just look awkward. Then place a 2x4 in a vertical position on top of those 2x3s that we've done here. And then on the side, grab two. What's this? Step through. Step 2 of the build is done, and we have got more of the body of Dialga done at the same time. We begin with two dark blue 2x3s in horizontal positions, and we place them on top of the 2x8s right here, right at the back, so that they create more of a longer body for Dialga. Then, behind it, we grab a 2x4 and place it in a vertical position so that it helps out with keeping everything stable, especially with these dark blue 1x6s, both in horizontal position, where at least the second, third, and fourth peg is right next to the 2x3s that we did on the first layer of the model, so that it will then help out with the three 2x8s, one here, where they're both in horizontal positions, where they connect the 1x6 to the 2x8s in the middle, and of course the 2x3s as well, and then another 2x8 where it connects the bricks that we've already done on the first layer to the brick at the back, the 2x4s there, and of course making sure that it is all connected underneath, and they are in the middle 6 of that 2x8 that we've done for step 2. So it helps keep everything together, and it isn't, well, it is a little loose, but hopefully in later steps we will be able to address this loose little issue. But for the meantime, we're actually going to move on to step 3 here on camera, because it's a really easy step. You just need a dark blue 1x6, and you place it in the middle of the 2x8 at the back that was put on step 2, and then two dark blue L's, where they go one here, and one here, and that will help out with building up part of the hind leg for Dialga. And that is step 3, easy and completed. So that is it for that step. I'm now going to get to work on step 4, where we're going to be adding a few little details onto the body of Dialga as we build up more of its chest. Step 4 of the build is now done with, and we have got the details that we were after, and of course something extra as well. We're starting with some of the more unique shapes for this build. So I began with a foundation brick of a 2x3 in a horizontal position here at the front. In case you are not aware, a foundation brick is sort of like a starting brick for when you do the step of the build, and it will help you out when you try and do the rest of that step later on in the instructions. So it does help when you have a foundation brick like this 2x3 here to help you out, or you can have this one here at the back to help out with the build yourself. Then here at the front, I began with 2 dark blue L's, where one gap is facing the southeast and the other is facing southwest. And of course, at least one peg over, well, to the left and the right at the front of the 2x3 that we've done here, so that we can then put on 2 1x2 ball joints here at the front for part of Dialga's front legs. So one here and one here, and of course make sure that they are pointing away from the middle of the build that you've done. Otherwise it's just going to be rather difficult for the model to move around if you want it to pose in a specific action. Then again, this is going to be something of a mirror build. So a mirror build is where one side of the model is exactly the same as the other. You just repeat the steps so that they match exactly. So again, 2 more dark blue L's. This one here has the gap facing the southwest, and this one is southeast. Then 2 light blue 1x2s in horizontal position so that they form an outline of the body right here. And of course here. And then on top of those is 2 dark blue 1x4s, one here and one here where it's in horizontal position. And then I placed a dark blue 2x4 to help connect everything at the top peg of the 1x4 that we've done here in the middle. And then 2 dark blue 2x4s with slope on one side of the brick, one here where the gap where the slope is facing the left side, and one here where the gap is facing the right. And then 2 dark blue L's, where this one has the gap again facing the southwest and southeast here, and a dark blue 2x3 in a horizontal position to help keep everything connected. And that is it for step 4 of the build. I'm now going to get to work on step 5, where we're going to add more of this, and of course work towards more of of the body itself of Dialga. Step 5 of the build is now completed, and of course we do have a lot more detail to the model, and of course the bricks with no pegs on them. So I'm going to start out at the front here, where I grabbed 2 dark blue 2x3s and placed them both in a vertical position over the bricks that we've done here at the front. And then 2 more 2x3s, this time in a horizontal position where it's like a 4x3, to go in the middle of the 2x3s that we've done here, and of course away from the ball peg that we've done placed on the model as well. Then I grabbed 2 dark blue 2x2s and placed one here and one here, so that it is going to help out with the structure of the model later on. Then 2 light blue, cyan blue, 1x3s, both in horizontal positions, and of course over the top half of the 1x2 that we did in the previous step. Then 2 more dark blue 2x2s, where it's of course helping towards the middle of the model as well. Then, as you've noticed here, we've got the 2 dark blue 2x4s with no pegs on them, so that it starts to form the part of Dialga's hind legs at the back. Then in between those 2 bricks are is a 2x4, again in a horizontal position to keep everything connected and together. And then at the back, to help round it all off, is a 1x6 in a vertical position, so that it helps to form the back of Dialga. And with that over and done with, we can now move on to the next step, which is step 6, to add more details to the body, especially here as we get close to the top. Step 6 of the build is over and done with, and what a step it's been. It's basically, not only have we added more details of the body of, to the body of Dialga right here, but we've also added some more bricks to build up that chest area so that we're ready for later steps in the build. So I started off with here at the front with a dark blue 1x6 in the vertical position to help out at the front. Then on top, up on both sides, are two 2x8s. It's in dark blue in horizontal position so that they help with the main body of Dialga. Then two more cyan blue 1x2s over the 1x3, one peg at the top of the 1x3 that we've done in step 5, again in horizontal positions. And then at the top of each one of those is a dark blue 1x1 here and here. Make sure that you're not using the 1x1s with the pegs on the side, because we're going to be needing those for a later step in the build. So keep those safe for the time being and try to avoid them. In fact, keep the 1x1s and the 1x1s with pegs in separate sides of the boxes when you do the sorting, so that it helps out a lot more easier for you when you do your builds. Carrying on, we grabbed two dark blue L's, where this one here has the gaps facing the northwest, and of course it is showing the 2x4 with pegs with no pegs on it right here, and this one is facing northeast, again showing this 2x4 no pegs. And speaking of 2x4, we needed a 2x4 in a horizontal position right here to connect these L's to the back. And then also at the back are two dark blue 1x2s in vertical positions to help keep everything together. And of course, ready for step 7, which we are about to get to work on right now. And we're going to be adding a lot of the ball joints onto the model. So keep your eyes peeled, guys. It's going to be good. Step 7 of the build is now done, and we have got the ball joints, like I said that we would, and we've also got the 1x1s with the pegs on the side right here at the front. We've got 4 of those right here in the middle, and on both ends right here and here, we've got 2 1x6s, both in horizontal positions, and to help support those 1x1s is a 1x4 right here to help keep everything steady and stable. Then I grabbed a dark blue 2x4 and placed it in a vertical position at the top of the 1x6s right here. And then 2 more 2x4s, again in horizontal position so that they are in the middle of the body right here. And 2 cyan blue 2x2s here at the ends to help carry on with the pattern on the body of Dialga. Then here in the middle is a dark blue 2x3 right here, followed by 2 1x2s with balls on the side, connector balls. And you have to make sure that they are over the 2x4s with no pegs on them. And of course, at least one layer here. Just make sure that it is done on step 7 instead of step 6. Otherwise, it would be rather difficult to try and move the joint for the model. And to help keep everything stable is a 1x2 in a vertical position over those 1x2s. And 2 more 1x2s with ball pegs on the facing towards the back of the model, with a 1x1 on both the left and the right side to keep that illusion of a tail for Dialga running smoothly. So that is it for step 7, and we are now going to move on to step 8, where we're going to try and get some more details added onto the model. More of Dialga's body is now completed, and of course we are getting closer and closer to completing this step. It will take a little bit of patience, but just bear with the minor details, because it will make sense later on as we go along the build. So I began with the dark blue 1x4 right here at the front to help connect everything underneath it, which are the 4 1x1s with the pegs on the side down here. And then on both the left and the right side of the model are 2 2x8s in horizontal positions so that it connects over the body here and here. And then in the very middle are 2 dark blue 1x6s, again in a horizontal position, and you have to make sure that they are right behind the 1x4 here, and of course, making sure that they fill in the gap on the 2x8s right here. And speaking of the 2x8, there is another one right here at the back, leading towards the back that I use. And you have to make sure that it is, the two top pegs, row of pegs, are over the ball 1x2s that we've done in the previous step. Then we can place on both sides, a blue 1x4, a dark blue 1x4, again in horizontal position, on the left and the right side in the middle of that 2x8. And then at the bottom of those 1x4s is a 1x2 here and here. And of course a cyan blue 1x1 here and here. So it carries on the pattern on the chest of Dialga. Then here at the back, to help keep the 1x2s here secure, is a 2x4 in a vertical position where it is directly over the 1x2s right here. And then on both ends is another dark blue 1x1 here, and again right here. So that is it for step 8 of the build. I can now get to work on step 9, where we're going to be adding some curved bricks on the model. Step 9 of the build is now completed, and of course, like I said, we've got some more slopes on the model right here at the front. So I just began with a dark blue 1x4 here at the front in the vertical position, so that it's also in line with the previous step. Then on both the left and the right side of the model, I did from the front 2x4 with the slope on where the slope part is facing the right side here and the left side here. Then and on top of that is a 2x2 here and here, followed by another 2x4 here and one here. And in between those, with a gap of a 2x2 here, I place a dark blue 2x8 right here on the model. And to help connect everything together more securely is a dark blue 1x6 in a vertical position. So that is that. And it's also over the cyan brick pattern that we did for the model right here. But the pattern doesn't stop. In fact, it carries on right here with these two 2x3s in vertical position, so that it keeps the pattern alive on the body of the Dialga. Then here at the back are 3 dark blue 2x3s, so it's kind of like a 6x3, if you will, in the back of the model right here. And of course, they are over the previous bricks that we've done for the model. And that is it for step 9. So we can now move on to step 10, where we're going to add a few more necessary bricks for the body of Dialga. Part 10 of the build is now over and done with, and the reason why there was a little 2x2 gap on step 9 is now clear. It's all because of that little ball bearing right there on the 1x2. But before I actually put that on the model, I began with 2 dark blue 1x3s in horizontal positions, one here and one here. And of course, making sure that they are connected to the 2x4 with the slopes on them to the 1x4 at the very front here. Then I grabbed a dark blue L, 2 of those, where this one has the gap facing the southeast and this one is southwest, so that the gaps of those 2 bricks can be filled by the 1x2 with the ball bearing right there. And of course, you have to make sure that the ball bearing brick is, of course, over the 2x2 gap that we did on step 9. And yep, it was definitely step 9. And that was that. Then I grabbed 2 dark blue 2x8s, which help connect everything together for the model. One here, and one here. And finally, a dark blue 2x4 right here in the vertical position, so that it's over the tail. And of course, helping to keep these, the layer below it connected and secure, so that we could put on these gray 1x3 with long slopes, one here, and again one here, and one here. And of course, making sure that there is a 2x4 gap in between these 2x8s and the 2x4, which will become clear in the later steps. And speaking of later steps, we're actually going to be moving on to our next step, which will be step 11. So step 11 of the model is nearly done. We just have one little brick left to add onto the model, but first I thought it would be important to share with you what I had to do first and foremost. So I began with these 1x2s with a steep slope right here, and here, where it's actually right near the ball bearing that we did in step 10, kind of halfway through if you would. Then I grabbed a dark blue 2x2 with a slope, with a deep slope, steep slope, sorry, right here, and then placed it directly here behind the ball bearing and over its its bricks that support it. And right behind it, directly behind it, is two 2x3s, both in horizontal positions, so it's kind of like a 2x6, if you will, to help with the curve of the body. And we've also got two more dark blue 2x2s with ball bearings right here over the 2x4 gap that we made earlier in the model. And of course, we've also placed two gray 1x2s over the 1x3 slopes that we've done as well, so that it helps connect everything together nicely. And also, the last brick that we need is another 2x3, and we place it over the gap of the 2x2 slope that we did earlier in the build. Well, in that step. So, just try to make sure that you grab the steep slope instead of the deep slope. If you're a little confused, confirm with the instructions, because they also have little asterisks right next to each one to help you identify which one is the steeper one and which one is the deep one. The instructions are there to help you out, so don't be afraid to go back and confer every now and again with the instructions if you're ever confused, guys. But I'm not confused. In fact, I'm actually turning this model around so that I can get to work on step 12 of the model and work on the part of the underbelly for Dialga. Step 12 of the build is now over and done with, and we've already got the underbelly sorted for the model. So it's basically a grey 2x3 right here as our foundation brick, right in the middle of what we did on step 1. Then on both sides of that 2x3 are two dark blue 1x3s, both in horizontal positions to stay in line with the grey 2x3 that we did. Then to help keep everything connected and stable is a dark blue 2x4 here, and a 1x4 right behind it. So it's like a 4x3, if you will. So that should be, well, this should be what the model looks like after step 12. And that is the chest, well, the body mostly done. We are now going to put this aside for a moment and get to work on step 13, where it's the chest piece and the jewel on Dialga, which is kind of one of the unique characteristics of this Pokemon. So before we actually show you what step 13 looks like, well, I just have to bring up a little notice about one of the bricks that we need. This grey 2x2. Now you have to make sure that that this piece right here, where it's I believe it is it is the double ridges. You have to make sure that it is pointing towards this way, so that it also helps out with the model later on. And of course, connecting this part onto the chest, the main part of the model as well. So that is an important thing to remember when doing this step. So I started off with these two grey 2x3s in vertical position so that it forms a 2x6. Next up, I grabbed the two curved 1x3s, one here and one here, so that they're both at the ends of this step. Then to their left, right here and left here, is a 1x3 with the square edges, so that they are also supporting those 1x3s that we've done earlier. And in between them is the 2x2 with the double ridges have to be pointing upwards so that it's not pointing sideways. Otherwise, it might prove a little difficult when putting this on the body, on the main body itself. And then on top of those, we grab a here. If it would let me, there we go. Oh, a 2x2 and place this on here. And then these 1x3s with slopes on them. One on this side, one on this side, and then we can put on underneath 1x3s we did earlier. So it should look a little something like this. All connected, and of course, making sure that the double ridges are, of course, facing upwards. And that should be it for step 13. Now I can move on to step 14, where we're going to be adding some more slopes onto the chest piece of the Dialga. So before finishing off step 14, there's something that I just want to bring up in regards to the step. It's really easy. You just need to do this twice. You need a 2x2 with a slope on it in gray, and two 1x3s with long slopes right here, and then you place them over the pegs of the 2x2 slope, like so, and then you could put it on both ends like that, so that we've got more, a bit of a curve on the chest piece of Dialga. That is it for step 14. For step 15, it's really easy. You just grab two 1x2s with a deep slope and two 1x2s with a steep slope, and then you place the deep slope over the steep one, like this. And then the same again in here. Actually, I've got it on the wrong way around. Actually, like this. Go. And then we place these on the model like so. So it should look like this. Step 15. Then for step 16, we grab two steep 1x2s, and then we place them here, one here. Then we grab another two with two deep 1x2s, and then this time we place them over, in this manner right here, one here, and then one here. Sorry, like this. And then we put them on like so. And that is it for step 16. For step 17, we grab a whole bunch of those pieces. Well, we grab two of the steep slopes. We place them on like this. Four of the deep. So that it looks like this. course, everything is getting connected, which is a good thing. And then a 2x2 with a slope on it, and we place it on like so. So this is what it should look like after step 17, and everything is nice and connected all together beautifully. Now for step 18, we just grab the last two gray 2x2 with the slopes on them. We put one here, and then one here, and that should be it. Then we grab the clear blue circular brick, this piece right here where my finger is, and then we put it in the gap as such. So we have a chest piece almost ready for Dialga. We just need to do at least one more thing. Well, two more things before we try and attach it to the body. The first thing that we need to do is grab four 1x3s with slopes and put one on top of the other, like so. It should look like this. And then each one gets a curved 1x2. Once I sort this out. They are in gray as well. Should be around here somewhere. No, I've put them in here. 100% certain of that. But no, it's not in that box. Well, tray, I should say. No, that they're in this box because I put them in there myself. It'll take me a while. Hopefully not too long. No. That's one. Right there. And there's the other. Then we put each one of those on the top gap, like so. So each one of those sub-assemblies should look like that. And then we can attach them, each one, to one of the curved, one here, and then one here. As such. So it should kind of look like this. And to help keep everything stable underneath that part, we need two dark blue 1x2s with the rounded edges. So these two right here. And then we've placed them. One here. And then one here. Beautiful. And this is what this sub-assembly should look like before we try and attach it onto the chest. We gotta make sure that it is the square pieces. These ones right here that are going on these pegs of the body that we've already done so far. We gotta make sure that they are at the bottom of each one of those as well. And this is what it should look like now after step 22. And once again, we need to put this aside for a moment longer because we're going to get to work on working on the back wings, or the spine. The special unique feature, another unique feature of this model, which will be on the top of the back of Dialga itself, which I believe are its wings. Step 23 of the build is done, and as you can see, it's just basically the two rounded 1x4 bricks that we've got here, right in the middle. Then underneath those is, both of them, is a grey 1x2 where it's connecting both of them together, and at the top is a 1x2 with a connecting mechanism right here for the model. So that is basically it for step 23. For step 24 and 25, we just grab two more of those bricks right there, where we place one here and grab a 1x1 and put it on one corner on each side so that it's over that there. And then same again for right here. And then to help keep everything connected under those bricks is two grey 1x2s. So one should be connected right here. And another one for here. So that is it. That's going to be the starting foundation for what we're going to be doing on the back of Dialga. And now we're going to get to work on step 26, where we basically need to do this 3 times. So I'm going to get to work by by putting this to the side for a moment, and then starting the assembly of step 26 all the way through to 34. Okay, so this is what step 34 should look like, and you need to do at least 3 of these for this step. So I'm going to show you what I've done from step 26 all the way up to step 34, and these are just some of the ones I did before showing you guys what I had to do. So we begin with a 1x2 grey with a ball bearing on the side, and then on top of that we put on a 1x3 and try to center it so that it's in line with the middle peg of that 1x3 that we've done here first and foremost. Then for step 27, we grab another 1x3 and put that on top. And then place a 1x4 in the middle right so. Sorry. So it should look like that. Then for step 28, we grab another 1x4, put it on top. Then we grab two 1x2 greys with a peg in the middle each. Place one here. And then one here, so it should look like that. Then for step 29, we grab two 2x3s and two 1x3s and two 1x2s. And then we place them on like so. One like this, and one like this. And then we place it on our piece as such. Then for step 30, we grab a 1x6, getting grey. Then we place it on the model like so. And then two 1x3s with two pegs on them. We place it right over 1x6 that we did. Then for step 31, we grab a 1x3 and a 1x2. We put start off with the 1x2 because that is easier. We put it on here, and then we put the 1x3 on, like so. So that's a lot easier for structural integrity purposes. Then we grab a 1x3 with two pegs on it, and a 1x2 with one peg on it. As such, then we grab a 1x4, followed by two 1x2s with one pegs each, another 1x4 here, like so. Then two 1x2s with one peg each. One here and one here. Then a 1x3, like so. And then we put on another 1x3, followed by a 1x3 with two pegs, and 1x2 with one peg on it. So we should have at least 3 of these, and they should try to be rather uniform, connected with each other like so. You can always use your first one as your reference if you're not so sure. And then we can attach these onto this part right here. So we put one on like so. Another one here. And then finally the third one on like so. And that's what it should look like come step 37. And that is that for step 37. So now we can move on to step 38, where we're going to be adding a lot more to the back wings of Dialga, and making it look a bit more like the Pokemon it's supposed to be. Step 38 of the build is over and done with, and it's a really easy step. You just grab the two 2x2s with the connectors right here, and then you put in gray, and you put them side by side as such, so that it's ready for later on in the build. Then you grab a gray 2x2, and you place it right over the back corner pegs of what we've done already. Then here at the front is a gray 1x6, so that it helps keep everything connected for this step. Followed by the two rounded gray 2x2s, rounded corners right here. One here and one here, so that it forms kind of like a starting base of a fan, if you will, for the model. So that is it for step 38. For step 39, we just turn this upside down, and then we grab two gray 2x2s. Sorry, we grab, wrong step, 6 1x1s with pegs, with a peg on the side. And then we put it, we put 2 each on each corner. One here, and one here. And then 2 here on the left. Making sure that the top peg is underneath what we did on step 38. And 2 here. And the odd peg facing away from those connectors, as such. So this is what it should look like after step 39. Then for step 40, we just grab 2 2x2s. And we put these 2, one here, one here, and 2 1x2 with inverted slopes. One here. Let me. Here we go. And then one here. Perfect. And that is that for step 40. Then we can put this, the top part here, over, underneath the middle fan of this right here. Was making sure that it's also connected. Of course, nice and stable as well, because it does look a little bit funny. But don't worry, it's an easy fix. Just give it a bit of time, and you should be able to repair this no problem. Okay, so this is what step 41 should look like. You're going to have to be extremely careful when you try and assemble this. It will feel a little tight and very rickety and loose, but as long as you're patient and gentle with this, then it should be all the more better for you. So just take a deep breath, stay calm, and try not to rush this, otherwise you're going to get frustrated and you'll have to restart the whole process all over again. But we've managed to make sure that it's nicely secure, so we can put this aside for a little bit longer, so we can get to work on step 42 all the way to step 49, where it's basically the same thing that we did with the earlier fans, but we don't use any of those ball bearings whatsoever. So this is what it should look like after step 49. It's basically almost the same as what we did earlier, but there is a few differences. So let me start off with step 42, and I'll show you. You basically grab two 1x3s, and you put them on top of each other as such. Then two 1x4s, one on top of the other again. And then you place it right in the middle as such. Then for step 44, you grab two 1x2s with a peg in the middle each. And you put one here like so. And that will do nicely. And then you grab a 1x2 and a 1x3. You put the 1x3 here like so, and then that's the 1x2, and this is the 1x3 right here. This is perfectly here aligned. You can always use the other one that you made as a reference so that they are nice and uniform. And then for step 45, you grab another 1x3, and you put it on the right side here. And then a 1x2, place that on this side, and then you grab a 1x6, place that right in the middle, as such. Make it look like this. And then for step 46, you grab two 1x3s with two pegs. You place them in the line like so. Then a 1x2 and a 1x3 again. Starting off with the 1x2, you place it over those. And the 1x3, so it looks like this. Then for step 47, you grab a 1x2 with one peg. Place it on this side here. And 1x3 with two pegs. You place it here. And then you put on a 1x4 to help keep everything connected. Then you grab another 1x4, place that on like so, and then two more 1x2s with one peg over that 1x4 as such, and then a 1x3 followed by a 1x3 with two pegs and a 1x2 with one peg as such. And that is what it should look like for step 49. And you can also put them side by side, one on top of the other, to make sure that they are nicely in uniform as such. And then we put them on the model here, on the side pegs that we did earlier. One there, and one there, which will take us straight into step 52, where we connect this onto the back of the model here, right where those ball bearings are. You try and do it from an angle, and connect as such. And then try and rest them as best as you can with a little repair work to do. So once I've done all that, I will then get to work on doing some of Dialga's legs, which will be starting from step 53 onwards. I just need to get this fixed. So what you see right in front of you right here are 3 of the 4 steps 53 to 60 that we have to do for the legs of Dialga. So we're going to put these to one, just so I'd show you what they should look like after you complete that up to that step. So we'll put these to one side, and then we'll get to work showing you what we have to do for each step. So for step 53, we grab 3 1x2 steps of these in dark blue, and we put them underneath a 2x3. All 3 of these in unison underneath like so. And then we grab a 2x3, another one, we put one underneath like so, and then a 1x2, sorry, a 2x2 here to the right, sorry, the left, and then 2 1x3s, one here and one here, so that it works out well for step 53, and you have to do this 4 times for each of Dialga's feet. So that is step 53. I'm now going to get to work on step 54, where we're going to be adding the toes onto this legendary Pokemon. Step 54 is nearly completed. I just thought it would be a good idea to show you guys what you have to do. So you have to grab 3 1x2 steep slope bricks and 3 1x2 deep slope bricks here, and you both in gray, and you have to put the deep slopes on top of the steep ones as such. Then you grab, and you have to do it 3 times, where you put 2 on a gray 1x3 on both ends of the pegs right here as such, and another one on a 1x2 on the right side. Then you place these right underneath in the gap, underneath a dark blue L, where the gap is facing southeast, as you can see right, here it is, right there. And then you place another one, actually a dark blue 1x2 over the last one of the gray 1x2 as such. Easy to do. And that is it for step 54. For step 55, we're going to be making this a little bit stronger, but don't worry about these, the left and the right ones for the time being. The middle one's going to be fine. It's just that we need to work up on the foundation of the feet first before we can actually get these a little more stable. And here we go. This is what step 55 should look like now. We begin with a dark blue T where the odd peg is facing the north, right in the, and is of course in very, well, linked, in line with the middle toe for Dialga, as such, as you can see. Then I grab 2 dark blue 2x4s, both in horizontal positions, one to the left and one to the right of the T. And to help link that T with the 2x4s is a dark blue 1x3 right here, so that it does round out the foot of Dialga perfectly. So with step 55 over and done with, we can get to work on step 56 to help keep everything connected and structurally secure. So step 56 is now over and done with, and of course it is a little bit more structurally stable. So I began with this dark blue 2x3 in the vertical position right here, at the, well, where the middle pegs of that brick are again in line with the middle toe for Dialga. And then I went, instead of going around the outside of the foot, I actually went into the middle and placed a 2x3 with 2 pegs in, on it in a vertical position, just like the 2x3, and placed it 1 row of pegs away from the outside to here to make sure that there was a gap of a 1x3 here. Then I placed a dark blue 1x3 here in the vertical position in line with with this brick right here. Then on the outside it is 2 1x4s, one here and another one here, so that it helps round out the foot of Dialga perfectly. And we're going to carry on working on some more of the foot and adding some, well, more dark blue and, well, definitely some cyan to the foot. Okay, before we fully complete step 57 for the 4th foot, I thought it would be good to show you guys what I had to do first and foremost. So I grabbed two 1x2s with one peg in the middle and placed them underneath another 1x2 with one peg underneath. So it kind of looks like this, as you can see, hopefully on your camera right there. There we go. And then you just place this. Once it's, yep, there we go. In line as such perfectly. And of course there was also two 1x3s with two pegs on it, one here and one here. Obviously the front one is covered by this 1x2 with a peg again. Then I grabbed two 1x4 dark blues here, one on both the left and the right sides of the foot as such. And then I grabbed another dark blue 1x3 and placed it in a vertical position where the middle peg is with the middle toe. So next up, we just grabbed a cyan 1x1 and place it in the middle peg, and two dark blue 1x1s and place them on both sides of that cyan 1x1 that we just put on. So it should look like this for step 57, and now we can get ready to get step 58 ready. So once again, we're nearly done with another step, which will be step 58. There is something that you need to know about this, that before you actually go into this step, you have to make sure that with these grey 1x2s with one peg on them, they are on top of the 2x2, but you have to also make sure that the double rigid are in line with the 1x2 before you put them on to the brick. So it should be like this. So that it's also ready for the last two steps for the feet. And then you just place this on the model, making sure that the double rigid is not in the way of the pegs whatsoever, so that you have a nice structurally stable step, which will be step 58, and it should look like this. And don't worry about this, it will be fixed in a moment. In fact, that moment's going to be step 59, which won't be long. Okay, so we're nearly done with step 59. It's just these little bricks that we have to do, which is basically 5 grey 1x1s, and where you have to stack them on top of each other to form a little tower, and then place it in one of the gaps of the toes on the model. And you just do it like so. Doesn't matter which order you do it in, but it should look like this. And then place onto the model without me flinging it around. Not ammo, it's just a little toy. There we go. And it's also in line with what we did in the previous step, number 58. What we also did for step 59 is grab a cyan blue 1x2 and place it in a horizontal formation and place it over the cyan blue 1x1 that we did and the dark blue 1x2 with the one peg over it, so as such. Then grab two more dark blue 1x1s and place one here and then one here, so that it forms, well, helps forms more of the foot of Dialga. And then we can move on to the last step, which will be step 60, where we're going to be giving this a little bit more structural stability. So this is what it should look like now after step 60. It's basically the same 4 times in a row. You grab a cyan 1x2 and place it in a horizontal line over the 1x2 cyan brick that we did earlier. Then 2 dark blue L's where one gap is facing the northeast and this gap is facing the northwest. And try to make sure that they are not over the grey 1x2s with the 1 pegs on them. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to put on the dark blue 1x4s. And if you're not completely confident about that, what you can do is place the 1x4s in first, one here and one here, so that you know where the L's are supposed to go and have their gaps filled in by those bricks. And the last brick for each of those feet is a dark blue 2x3 right here at the back, so that it helps to form more of the foot. And now that we've done all 4 feet needed for the model, we can put these to one side so we can do the front legs of Dialga. as we work on step 61, and finally, step number 84. Okay, so we are done with steps 61 and 84. It's basically the same thing, but it's it's kind of mirrored in a way, if you'll understand what I mean. So each one begins with two dark blue 2x3s. He's in vertical positions, where one is stacked on top of the other. And then, for step 61, there is a 1x6, where they're both in horizontal positions on both for both models, both steps, sorry. Where for 61 it's on the right side and 84 is on the left side here, and it starts out as such. Then on the next layer, we grabbed two cyan 1x2 connectors where they are in the middle of each one. So this one, step 61, it's to the right side of the front 2x3 here, and for step 84 it's on the left side of the 2x3. Then I grabbed two dark blue 1x3s, both in horizontal positions, and placed for step 61 on the left side, and for step 84 the right side here. Then I grabbed two dark blue L's, where for step 61 this one has the gap facing southwest, and this one is northwest. So it's kind of like a bigger T, a bigger dark blue T, if you will. Then I grabbed a dark blue 1x2 to help fill in the gap on this side, and the same again on this side. And of course, for step 84, the gaps are facing the east side, both north and south. Then for the back side of those, parts, it's a dark blue 1x2 connector right here and here, so that everything is linked up. Then, to the left and the right side of each of those is a dark blue 1x2 step, rising step. Yep, so that, inverted slope. So it looks a little bit something like this on both sides. So with those steps now over and done with, I'm now going to get to work on step 62 and 85, respectively. Okay, so steps 62 and 85 are both completed, and they both require two 2x4 with slopes on the sides, one here and one here on both parts of the legs. Then for the right side on steps on each one, where they basically have an open gap here, we grabbed two inverted 1x2 slopes. Oops, little ones. So one here like this. And then we place them over the connector as such. So it should look like this for step 86 and 62. So that is it for those steps. Now for the next one, which will be 63 and 87, if I remember correctly. No, that was 85. It's 86 and 63. So we basically just grab two cyan 1x6s. Place one. For 63, it's the left side. And for 85, it's the right side. Sorry, 86. And then we grab a dark blue 1x3. 1x4. Sorry, yeah, it was a 1x3 for the front part here. One gap. Then 1x4. Now I see why. It's supposed to be over the connector. Easy fix. And put on a dark blue 1x2 as such. If you have a pair of these Nanoblock tweezers, they really do come in handy, guys. If you do ever make a little mistake like I did, it's easy to rectify. All you have to do is actually grab one of the pegs, and then pull it out as gently as you can. Not as hard as you can, because that could risk damaging the peg. So always try to be gentle with something like this in the future. If you do ever get a mistake, it's easy to rectify as well. So this is what they should look like. That is it for each of those steps. Now I just need to turn them both over and place a dark blue 2x4 underneath each one where it is in line with the 1x6s that we've got. And that should be those. Then we can move on to step 65 and number 80, so that we can get to work on making the feet a little more movable. So we're now done with step 65 and 80 as such, and as you can see, there is a bit of a minor detail of absolute change, different sides. So for step 80, right here, it's the same thing. It's a mirror build, if you would. So we've got Cyan 1x3 in a vertical position at the front of the foot, right here and here. Then we've got a dark blue 2x4 in horizontal positions, where this one is on the right side, which will be for the right leg of Dialga, and this one is on the left side for the left leg. Then in the middle, right in the middle of that cyan blue 1x3, on top of it, each is a dark blue 1x4, both in horizontal positions, nice and easy. Then for the outer ends, we've got a dark blue 2x3, both again in horizontal positions, so that's in line with each of the foot. And then at the back top and the back right here, and the back left here is a 1x2 with a steep edge here, so it shall help out. Well, it's basically going to help form the legs of Dialga, which we're going to carry on in steps 81 and 66, I believe it is. Yes, it is. Okay, so steps 66 and 81 are both completed. It's basically the same again. So there's a cyan blue 1x1 in the middle of the 1x3 that we've done in the previous steps for each of these feet. Then there's a dark blue 2x3, both in vertical positions, where this one has it on the on the left side, and this one has it on the right. Then carrying on with the sloping effect, there's both legs each have a 1x2 steep slope and a 2x2, where they're both level with each other and in line, which is perfect. Then on the left side and the right side here is a 1x2 with a deep slope each to help out with the leg of Dialga. So that is it for each of those steps. It's now time for me to get to work on steps number 82 and 67. Before we actually carry on with what I had to do for the latest steps, which would be steps number 67, right there, and number 81. No, sorry, 82. I just had to, I just missed out one little brick for each of those, for the previous steps. There was supposed to be a dark blue 1x1 over the 1x2 steep slope from the previous layer right there. And of course right there, so that we could put on the dark blue 1x4s over each row as such. So it should look something like that. And there are two more cyan blue 1x1s over what we've done already. So it kind of looks like a long plus on each leg. And of course, each one of these legs has a 2x2 dark blue ball on each one connected to the brick. And of course, there's also a dark blue 1x3 in a horizontal position, right behind the deep 1x2 slope as such, there, and there. So we're then going to do the last step for each of those legs, where each one of them requires a cyan blue T, where the odd peg is in line with the 1x2 that we've done. One there, and one there, as such. There we go. And then we put on a 1x2 dark blue to here and here. Perfect. And then we can connect the each of the moving legs as such. One there and one there. So that's what they should look like now. And then we can attach these onto the front part of the Dialga. One here. I can see it correctly. Hope I've done it right. Yep, looks like I have. And then one here. You should be able to hear 2 clicks for each one. I've got one down. And that's it. We've got, hopefully, yep, definitely. Oh. Might need to, no, I've got this all right, so it'll take a bit of work to connect these back, and then we can get to work. There we go. Fully rebuilt. As such. And there we go. Almost. I'll get these fixed and then I'll move on to well, I'll fix these in a moment. So I'm actually going to get to work on the hind legs of Dialga. So steps 71 and 90 are both completed. So this is step 90 right here, and this is step 71. It's basically the same again. It's all mirrored. It's a mirror build. So it's starting off with a cyan blue 1x3, both in vertical lines, where it's the metal pegs are over the 1x1s that we've done earlier. Then for the right leg, the right leg, there's, and of course the left leg, on the right side and left side, there's 2 dark blue 2x3s. He's here and here. They're both in vertical positions, and it's one on top of the other, or one behind the other, if that's what you like to see it as. And of course, to help fill in the gap, there's also 2 dark blue 2x4s, both in horizontal positions, where this one has it on the left side, and this one has it on the right. And that'll be it for those steps. So now it's on to step 91 and 72, where we're going to be adding some more bricks to the hind legs of Dialga. So both steps 72 and 91 are both done. They both each required a 2x4 with a slope each on where the 2x4 that we've done earlier, the 2x3s that we did for each layer, one here and one here. And then I've grabbed another 2x3 and placed it both in vertical positions right in the middle of that 2x4 slope that we did on each end. And then I also had to grab a dark blue 1x3 and place it in a vertical position in front of that 2x3 that we did. And of course, a cyan blue 1x1 in the middle of that 1x3 that we did on each side. So that is it for those steps. For the next steps, which will be steps 73 and 92, we just basically grab a dark blue 1x2 steep slope and a cyan blue 1x2, put it over each one as such, and then that's those. And then we just grab 2 dark blue 1x3s, place them right here and here. Lovely. And then for step 74 and 93, we grab 2 more cyan blue 1x3s and then place them as such. And then grab 2 1x2s with ball connectors. One here. And then another one right there. So that is that. And they will be ready for the upper thighs for Dialga when they are done, which will be beginning on step 75 and 94. Okay, so we're all done with steps 75 and 94. So they're basically the same. It's just we start off with a dark blue 2x4 in a vertical position, and then right behind each one of those 2x4s is a dark blue 1x4, again in a vertical position, so it's kind of like a 3x4 if you will. Then in the middle of that 1x4 is a 2x2 with a connector right here at the back, and both of them will have a 1x3 dark blue on both sides, so that it looks something like this from a bird's eye view. That's all connected. And then at the top here, they both have dark blue 1x6s on both the left and the right side of the leg. And then in the middle, right here, over the 2x2 and the 1x4 and the 2x4, is another dark blue 2x4 in a horizontal position, so that it help links everything together. And then there's each one has a cyan 1x2 connector at the front, so that they will be connecting to this part of the leg right there. So that's that for each one of those steps. And then we grab 2 dark blue 2x4 slopes, and then we place them here at the front, at the back, sorry, as such. And then 2 2x2 slopes once again. So the edges are heading to the outside instead of the inside, so that they look like proper legs. There we go. So that's what they should look like after steps 95 and 76. So for steps 77 and 96, we just basically grab a 1x6 each, and we put one on this side here, and one on that side here. And then we grab 2 cyan 1x6s and do the same. So it looks something like this. And we've got the rear legs all sorted. Now we can connect them to each of the legs. And of course, making sure that they also connect to the model, or even if it doesn't look like it. And once more. And it's like this. Perfect. We've got the hind and the front legs all sorted. And now it's time to put this aside once more so we can get to work on the tail and the head of Dialga. If you're already up to this point of the video and you're running low on bricks and you have a lot of space, then now would be a great opportunity for you to move some of your bricks from the more emptier trays into other trays so that you get a bit of space like I've already done so. So it's also a great opportunity to remind you to also take a break, because these big Nano Deluxe builds really do take up a lot of your time. But regardless, let us also get through the next step, which is step 99, where we're starting off with one of Dialga's tails. One of the parts, actually. So we've got 5 dark blue 2x4s, where 2 of them are in a vertical position, one on top of one behind the other, and another one is on the side in a horizontal position to make it look like a 4x6, if you would. Then we have 2 more dark blue 2x4s where they're both in horizontal positions, and they're also connected over in the middle of the 2x4 underneath, right in their middles, and of course where they are also a column of 4, a peg of 1x4s as such. And then for step 100, we grab another dark blue 2x4 and place it here on the model, and then a 1x4 at the end. So it kind of looks like this after step 100, and then we can move on to step 101. Where it's just basically 2 cyan blue 1x6s and a 1x2, followed by a dark blue 2x2 in the middle. So we start off with the cyan blues, one here and one here. Then we could put this one right here in this gap at the far left side. Then we put on this dark blue 2x2 right here, so that it's all connected nicely. And then we're ready to move on to step 102. So this is the end of step 102. It's basically 2 dark blue 2x2 connectors on the left side right here to where it will connect to Dialga's body to help form the tail. Then 2 dark blue 1x4s, both in vertical positions, where they're over the cyan 1x6s that we did earlier. And then a 2x2 ball joint right here, where it's over the dark blue 2x2 that we did also in the step before. So that is it for step 102. Step 103 is an easy one, where we grab 4 1x2 inverted slopes, and we put them right behind the connectors, right over the connectors as such, where the slope part, the inverted slope part, is over the 2x2. Sorry, the connectors. Such. So it looks like this. And then we can grab 2 dark blue 2x4 slopes. Put them in line like this. And that's step 103. And then for step 104, it's an easy one. We just grab 2 dark blue 2x3s and make it look like a 2x6 as such. And that's what it should look like at the end of step 104. And now we can put it to one side so we can get to work on step 105. Step 105 is completed, and we are working on the second part of Dialga's tail right here. So we begin with 2 navy blue, dark blue, 1x4s, both in vertical positions, and of course at least 1 row of peg away, when we actually put on top of each one of those a cyan blue 1x3 with a 2 pegs on it, where these 2 1x4s are on the right and the left side of those that cyan blue brick that we put on. Then we also put on a cyan blue 1x3 with all the pegs on, right in the middle, the bottom middle of those dark blue who were 1x4s that we did. Then we also put on a dark blue 1x2 in the middle of those 2x4 dark blues that we did. Make sure that they're also underneath the cyan bricks that we've also done for this step. Then we put on a cyan blue 2x3 and made sure that it was in line with those, with that 1x3 that we did as well. And then once that was fitted, I grabbed the dark blue 1x3 and put it in the middle underneath the cyan blue 2x3 that we did as well, so that we can also put on this cyan blue 1x2 with a ball connector right here in the middle. So that is it for step 105. It's now time for me to get to work on step 106 to make sure that it's nice and sturdy, especially when you move the tail. So step 106 is a really easy step. It's basically you grab two dark blue 2x3s and place them in horizontal positions, kind of like a 4x3 if you will, and then cover not only the 1x2 with the finger ball here, but also to connect the cyan bricks that we did in the previous layer here for step 105. And then we grabbed a dark blue 1x2 connector where the pegs for that are directly over the 1x3 with the two pegs on it, like this. So that is it for step 106. Step 107 is an easy step. It's basically a dark blue 2x3 on like that, and another one like this, where we also grab a 1x3 and fill in the gap there. And then finally, we grab a dark blue 1x6 and place it right in the middle. I think I have done it. No, I have not. It's supposed to be on like so. And then two 1x4s right in the middle of that 1x6. So it should look like this, and then we can connect it to the tail as such. And that is it for 106 and up to 108, sorry. So now it's up to step 109 to finish the end of the tail. And sorry guys, there's no flames on this one. Step 109 is over and done with, and we have begun the tail, well, the curved effect on the tail. It will feel a little bit wobbly, but hopefully in step 110 or 111, it will be a little more structurally stable, so don't worry about it too much for the time being, and just enjoy the build. So we began with a dark blue T where the odd peg was pointing to the west, and then directly behind it was a dark blue 1x3 and a 2x3, kind of like a 3x3 if you will, for part of the tail. And then another dark blue T where the peg was facing east, and of course trailing behind it is a 1x2 inverted slope brick from underneath, so that it forms that curve effect to the tail. And what I did was I grabbed the dark blue 1x6 and put it over the 1x2 on the far right of that brick here, so that it easily connects to the T and the 2x4 that we did earlier as well. And then I grabbed two cyan blue 1x4s and put it halfway into on the left two pegs of the 1x6 that we've done here, and of course connected the 1x3 and the 2x3 to the T's, but it's still a little bit wobbly, and I'm hoping that the next step will help resolve that. In fact, we might as well do it right now here on camera. So first of all, we need two cyan 1x2 blues, inverted slopes, and two 1x3 slopes, as such. And then we put these underneath. And when it will let me, there we go. That's first. Here comes the second. And then we put them on like so. There we go. And then we put on a connector 1x2 in cyan blue, right in the middle, as such. And there we go. That's 1110 done. So for 111, which hopefully will resolve this wobbly issue, we grab a dark blue 1x1 and put it at least one peg away from the 1x6 in step 109, and then a 1x3 slope as such. And then we can grab two 1x2s, put one here, so that should stop it from moving around too much. One here. And if you're not comfortable with that, then there's also a solution where we grab two 2x3s and place them in horizontal position as such. And of course, it's not directly over the connector brick here, which is even better. And then all we gotta do for step 112 is a dark blue 2x4 here at the bottom, a 1x4 right here, and then a 1x3 as such. And then we can connect this onto the rest of the tail so it looks like an actual tail. And then we attach this onto the back of the model like so. Ooh. There we go. Maybe I might need to replace one of these, the brick, actually. So, once I've fixed that, it shouldn't take me that long. Once we've actually fixed it, we can then move on to the head and neck of Dialga. Step 115 of the Dialga build is now completed, and it's a really easy step. We just begin with a dark blue 2x8 right here, and then over it, at the far left or the far right, well, both far left and far right, are two dark blue 2x2s, where they're both at least 2 pegs over the ends of the 2x8 that we did here. Then on top of it, we've got two dark blue L's, where this one has the gaps facing on the top corner is facing southwest, and this one is northwest. And then here on the right is the gap the gaps are facing southeast and northeast right here. And then finally we've got two dark blue 2x4s in vertical position so that they all connect to help form part of Dialga's neck beautifully. And that is it for step number 115. For step 116, it's an easy step. We just grab a 1x2 dark blue with a connector on the end here. And then we place it. Doesn't really matter which side of the neck at this point. But keep in mind that once you choose a side, you will have to stick with this from step 116 onwards. Then we grab a dark blue 1x4 and place it horizontally right behind that 1x2 and put it in the middle, the middle pegs, things as such. And then we grab two dark blue 2x8s right here, and then we place them as such. So that should be it for step 116. For step 117, we're going to be adding some more of that cyan blue details that is known on Dialga. Step 117 is over and done with, and we do have some of the cyan blue details as well, including a ball, a finial ball right here to help connect the head onto the neck. But first, I really just began with the dark blue 2x4 in a vertical position right over the connector right here from the previous step, and make sure that it is securely in between the 2x8s from from that previous step as well. Then I grabbed 2 dark blue 1x2s and placed one here and one here, both in vertical positions, so that they are at least one peg over the previous step, over the 1x4, and of course making sure that it is in line with the 2x4 as well. Then I grabbed 4 cyan 1x4s and placed 2 at the bottom side and 2 at the top side right here, so that it keeps the pattern of Dialga's neck together. And then I grabbed that cyan blue 1x2 with the finial connector right there for the left side of the neck. And with that, we can now move on to step 118 and do it on the screen. In fact, it's just, we do 2x2 with slopes, where the edges, or the slopes, are pointing towards the outside of the neck, as such. Then 4 2x4s, one here, one here, and then again on the other side. And that is it for step 118. And we can now move on to step 119, where we're going to be getting something ready for the neck. Step 119 is completed, and it was a really easy step. There wasn't really much that you had to do in order to make it special. You just begin with this dark blue 1x2 and place it in a horizontal position right in the same area as the cyan blue finial that we've done here. And then from the left to the right, we did a 2x2 with a peg, a 1x2 with one peg here and here, and then another 2x2 with a peg here and again here, and a 1x2 with a peg on its own right there at the end. That is basically it for step number 119. Step 120 is going to be easy, and you don't really... Well, I'm not going to just... do it off screen. I might as well do it here right now. We grab 3 of the grey 1x3s with 2 pegs on it. Grab one here, here, and then here. And that is it for that step. Well, for that part. Then on top... carrying on with step 120, it's 3 1x2s over the pegs that we've done. As such, that's it for step 120. Then for step 121, we grab 3 1x2s with a peg on each one, and then place them over the 2 1x2s that we've done earlier, like this. And then, to fill in those gaps, are 3 grey 1x1s. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Nice and easy, simple to do. And then we can put it to one side and then get to work on step 122, which is going to be the head. But before we do that, now would be a good time to try and organize your trays again, in case you're very low on certain bricks as well. So if you want to take this opportunity to organize your trays again, now would be a great time to do so. So after tidying up our little box of bits for the build, we've also managed to get into work on step 122, and it was a nice and easy step, and even more so because of all the extra space that we've got after clearing up all those trays. So I began with by grabbing 2 dark blue 1x6s and placed them both in horizontal positions and a few, 2 centimeters away at least, or so that we have a bit of space. Then I grabbed 2 dark blue 2x3s and placed them in vertical positions right here and here, and placed them, kind of like a 4x3, and then placed them at the front of both those 1x6s, and make sure that they were sticking together as it were. And then I also grabbed a dark blue T and placed it over, on top of the 2x3 at the top here, and made sure that the odd peg was facing north, so that we could also put on the dark blue 2x4s and put them both in horizontal positions, and of course making sure that the one on the right here has is connected over this 1x6 and over the 2x3s and the T that we've done, and of course again on the left side the same again. But also making sure that there is at least a row of pegs, 1 peg gap, between both of those 2x4s that we've done for this step. And with that over and done with, we can just go straight into step 123 by grabbing a cyan blue 2x3 and a 2x2, placing them on the model like so. Then a dark blue T, and place that right there, making sure that the odd peg is in line with the gap of from the previous step right here. And then finally, 2 cyan blue 1x2s with inverted slopes, and place one on this side and another on like so. And that'll be it for step 123. And now I just need to do a little sub-assembly for 124, and then we can move on. The sub-assembly is nearly done for step 124. I just thought I'd show you what you have to do for this step before we do the final assembly for this part. So we basically grab 3 dark blue 1x2s with an inverted slope like this, and then you grab 2 1x2 steps like these. Sorry, 3 of these, and then you place the inverted slopes underneath the steps like so, what you can see here on camera. And once that's done, you then grab a dark blue T, and then you place them on like so. Once I've sorted that out, there we go. So it should look a little something like this here on your camera. And then you're ready to put this onto the model, and you place it over the odd peg of the T from step 123. And you place it on like so. And it should look a little something like this. Will be a little bit loose, but hopefully we should be able to fix this soon. And whilst I try to fix that, I'll also... Yep, it should be like this. So I just need to make sure that it's nice and steady, as such. And then we can move on to the next step, which will be step 125. Well, hopefully we'll be able to make sure that it doesn't wobble as much. Okay, so step 125 is complete, but the instability on the back of the head right here is a little loose. So hopefully, well, this step won't fix this, but hopefully the next step will do this. So let me explain what I've done first and foremost for the head. I began with with the 2 cyan blue 1x3s. Place them on both the front right and the front left right here of the head, and make sure that they were both in horizontal positions. As such, they're 1x4, sorry. And then I grabbed a dark blue 1x3 with 2 pegs on it and placed it at the very front, so it should be right here. And in underneath the at the bottom row of pegs of the 1x4s that we've done. Then we grabbed 2 cyan blue 2x3s and placed them both in horizontal positions, and of course in line with the 1x4s that we did as well. And then 2 cyan blue 1x2 steps, one here and one here, so that it is helping out with the shape of the back of Dialga's head. But this wobbliness on the back of the model is a little bit worrying, but hopefully in step 126 we should have this fixed no problem. Okay, so step 126 is completed, and we have kind of fixed this in one bit or another. So I just for this section, I just did a dark blue T where the odd peg was facing the back here, heading up north, and of course in line with the step that we did a few steps ago. And then right behind it is a cyan blue 1x3 and 1x2, where they're both in vertical positions, kind of like a 1x5, and they are helping out a little bit with the stability of the previous step as well. Then right here is kind of a circle of dark blue pieces. So we began with a 2x3 here, then a 2x4 here, and here. They're both in horizontal positions. The 2x3 here and the one here are both in vertical positions, so that they help form the head of Dialga perfectly. Then we place a dark blue 1x1 here and here to help out to form more of the head. Now, this is the gray 2x2 with a peg on it, and you have to remember for this step, it has to be with the double, the rivets, sorry, the double ridges. They have to you have to make sure that these are right on the side, as such, so that whatever happens in the next step doesn't, well, in the next couple of steps, doesn't get impeded later on. So that is it for step 126. For step 127, we just grab a cyan blue 1x3 with an edge on it, slope. We place it right here. Then two dark blue 1x3 with slopes, and we place one here. One here. And that should be it for step 127. We now need to put this to the side for a bit as we get to step 128, as it has a 5-part process. Part 1 of step 128 is over and done with. It's an easy step. It's just a dark blue 1x4 right here, and a 2x2 with a connector right here on one end, and you place the connector in the middle of the 1x4 in the middle of two pegs right here. Then over those two, you grab two gray 2x2s, and you place them both over both the 1x4 and the 2x2 connector as such. And then over, well, to fill in the gaps, over the 1x2, the 2x2 connector is two 1x2 inverted slope bricks here and here. So that should be it for part 1 of step 128. We can now move on to part 2 of the step, where we're going to be adding some black onto the model, giving it a bit of depth to the eyes. So we're done with the second part of step 128, and it was an easy one. It is two black 2x2s right here. One here, sorry, 1x2s, one here, and then one here, so that they start to form part of the eyes for Dialga. Then we grab two dark blue 1x1s and place with a peg on the side as well, and place them in between the black 2x2s that we've done. And here at the back is a dark blue 2x3, where it's over the 1x2 inverted slopes, and of course the grey tiles that we've made sure of, so that it forms the head of Dialga. So that should be that step over and done. That part of the step over and done with. We can now move on to part 3, where it's really easy. We just need the two red circular 1x1s, one here and one here, so that it forms the eyes of Dialga. Then we grab three black 1x2s with a peg on it. Place one in between those red 1x1s. And then two behind those. One here and one here. And then we grab two dark blue 1x2 with connectors on them. And then place one here. And then another one right here. And that is it for that part of the step. For part 4, we grab a gray 2x3 and a 2x2, and you have to make sure that the double ridges are aligned with each other, like so. And then we place them, but we should do the 2x3 first. Then we can do the 2x2, like this. And then right behind it is another black 1x2 with just one peg on it. We place it there on the model, and that should be that. And then we can move on to the 5th and final part of the step, and that is requiring another gray 2x2 right here and a 2x3. So we'll start off with the 2x3 and place it here and the 2x2 here. Then we grab a gray 1x3 with two pegs on it and place it right here, followed by two gray 1x1s Just the 1x1s, not the ones with the pegs on the side. Those will be for later. One here. And one here. And that is it for part 5 of step 128. We can now bring the head back and then attach this onto this. And we just place it as such. So it should look like this. Like, hopefully, it will be a little more connected. So we just turn this upside down for step 129, and we grab 2 cyan blue 1x2s. And we place them, one here, and then, if I've done that correctly. See. Is one here, and then one here. Don't worry if this comes a little loose, guys, so it will be fixed, no problem. And then we grab 3 dark blue inverted slope 1x2s, and then we place them right here. Here. And here. There we go. And that is it for step 129. We can now get to work on step 130, where hopefully this will be a little more secure. And of course, we'll also have, well, it's basic. It's really just simple. It's just a, we start with the dark blue 1x4, and we place it here. Of course, making sure that it also connects with what else we've built. What we've done so far, actually. Things, if this would let me, will take a while. Best thing to do would be to place the dark blue 1x6 on first, like so. Then the 1x2. Oh. This thing would also stay stuck together. There we go, much better. And now the head. Sorry, it was a 1x3, not 1x4. That explains everything. And then we grab the 2x4 with slopes on them, and we place them on the back. Over the head of Dialga as such. Difficulties. Trying to make sure that everything stays together. There we go. And once everything is back in order, this is what the model should look like after step 130. Hopefully nice and secure, more secure than mine. And it will be ready for the next step, which will be step 131. Okay, so we are done with step number 131, and as you can see right here at the top of the head, it looks like Dialga's head properly now, which is what we are aiming for. Once this is nice and stopped moving, like so. There we go. So we just start. It's basically a row of, well, a line of 1x2 tiles with no pegs on them, starting off with the cyan blue, where it begins with the 1x3 edge that we've got here, and it goes from the back all the way up to the front as such. And then we grab two more 1x2s and place two of them, one underneath and one above the row of 6 1x2s that we've done here. And then here at the front are 4 dark blue 1x2s, both all in line with each other. And of course, making sure that it's heading to the front of the head. Then we grabbed 2 dark blue 1x1s and placed one here and one here on the head as such. And then we grabbed 2 dark blue 1x1s with a peg on the side and place them over on the pegs of the gray 1x3 with 2 pegs that we did for the face of Dialga right here. So it should look like this now for the model, and this will be put to the side for a bit as we move on to step 132, where there is a little bit of a mini sub-assembly to do. So when done with part 1 of step 132 right here, the only thing that we have to do is this little bit right here, but I thought it would be good to show you guys what you have to do. So you basically grab a 1x2 with a steep slope on it, steep edge on it, and then you grab a gray 1x1 and you put it under the 1x1 underneath the 1x2 and put it on the side where the edge is, and then you place it over one of the dark blue tees that we've got going on here. So it should look like this. And to help keep everything connected are these 2 dark blue 1x2 with pegs, 1 peg each on them, so that it helps with the stability of the model. And to help further, not only just to add detail to the model, but to help keep everything stable, we're going to place 2 gray 1x2 with no pegs on them, put one here, and then one here, and that should be it. And then we can put this on the head of Dialga. So it should be something like this. Making sure that the greys are in line with each other. Perfect and beautiful. So that is it for step 132. We're now going to get to work on step 133, and it's so easy that we just need to do it on screen so that it's not that really hard to do. So we just grab a dark blue 2x2 with a slope on it, and then grab 2 more gray 1x1s, and then 2 more 1x2s with steep slopes on them. And then same again as we did in step 132. We just put them 1x1s on the side of the edge, the slope, and then we place them on the model as such. One here, one here, and that is that. Then we just grab a gray 1x2 with no peg on it, and then put it on as such, and then we put it on the side. We'll tip it to the side, and then we put the slope side where the side pegs are, and that should help to create a Dialga space for step 133, to which we can then connect what we did from step 1 at the end of step 121 onto the head. So that should be what the model should look like now. And we're going to keep this to one side for one final moment, as we've got the head pieces to do for Dialga next, which will be step 135 and 143, for which we just need to grab 2 gray 1x2 steps. Once I find them. There they are. They're basically done in the same way. And 2 gray 1x1s. No pegs on the side. And then we just put one, well, we put them on the gap as such, like this. That's step 135 and 143, and now we can get to work on step 136 and 144, to which we don't really need to go off camera for. We can just do it on the screen right now. We just grab 2 gray 1x4s, place one on like this. We'll place them on like as such, and then we grab a gray 1x2 each, and a 1x3 each, as well as a 1x2 inverted slope, and then we put the 1x2 whose steep edge on like so, and then the 1x3 on, followed by the inverted slope, I think I was off by 1 row of pegs. Yes, I was. And so this is what it should look like for both 136 and 144. Nice and quick repair, or fix, really. So that's what they should both look like. And then we grab, for step 137 and 145, 2 more 1x1s, and then 2 1x1s with a peg on them each. And then we put the 1x1s on for the, well, by the peg for the 1x2 slope. And then we put this one. This will be for 145, and this one will be for 137. So that's what they should look like. And then we grab a 1x3, place one there, and one there. That's it. And now we just need to do 138 and 146 now. And make sure that they will be a little more stable. Steps 138 and 146 are both completed, and they were both easy. So it's basically, for each one, you grab a 1x6, a gray 1x6, and a gray 1x2 with inverted slope, and you put the 1x2 inverted slope on one end of the 1x6 from underneath, where the slope part is away from the 1x6 itself, each one here and here. Then on top are two gray 1x2 who are steep slope, and a 1x4 over the 1x6 that we've done. Now for step 146, you have to make sure that it's on the far right, on the right of the 1x6, all over have a third of that. And then for 138, you just do it on the far left. Like that. It's really easy. Then we can move on to step 139 and 147. So they each require a 1x2 deep slope and a 1x1. And you put the 1x1 on the gap, the peg of the 1x2 steep slope. Each as such. And then you place it as if it were facing the slope that we did in the previous steps of each side of each wing. Well, ear, I believe they are. And that is it for those two steps. Then for step 140 and 148, we grab two 1x6 each, and a 1x3 with an edge hinge on each one. And then we grab two for each one, two gray 1x4s, and then we connect them on top of each other. One here and one here, so it should look like this. And then same again. And then we grab two gray inverted 1x2s, and we place them underneath the 1x6s that we've done. One there, one there. Oops, actually, mine is, the other one is, it was the wrong way around. In fact, they're both the wrong way around. That was not good. And then we can put these on as such. One here. One here. And that will be 140 and 148. And then finally, we just grab a 141 and one for 141 and 149. We grab a circular 1x1 for each one. And then we place one here on the 1x1 with a peg on the side as such. And that will be it for those. And then we can easily attach them onto the head of Dialga, where this one goes in here, and this one here. And then we can put them both up like so. We can get the detail, and then finally, final assembly. Then we can attach the head and the neck onto the body itself. If it'll let me. Probably the best thing to do would be to detach the chest piece, and then attach the head. There we go. As such. And there we go. Dialga. The space, the time Pokemon, and the symbol of the Diamond Clan from Legends Arceus.